The Kids Life Studio is a global network of world-class kids life coaches who are dedicated to supporting and uplifting children to become the leaders of their own life. I am Zelna Lauwrens, founder of the Kids Life Studio and the Kids Life Coach Academy, and I take great pride in building a network of world-class kids life coaches who walk the walk and talk the talk. So my vision, which has now become our vision, because I started in 2003 as a kids life coach who really didn't have any program. I had no support. I had no idea how to tackle the job that I'd given myself, which was to uplift children, because I was seeing so many problems as a teacher in my classroom. So I figured things out by myself. And so my vision was always to build a network of kids life coaches who didn't have to go through the pains and the struggles that I went through trying to figure things out. Now, we're all smart and we're all savvy, but why not stand on the shoulders of somebody else who's done it before you to fast track you and take the pain out of the work that you need to do? So through the creation of this beautiful network of world-class kids life coaches, I know that our success is dependent very much on the success of the children we coach, which is why I'm so determined to have training programs and coaching that are really a cut above the rest, and with the emphasis on quality, because if we don't get success in our children, I'm talking about long-term sustainable success, then our vision falls flat. We are only as good as the children that we coach. So my mission, which became our mission, is really underpinned by three things, and that's education, motivation, and inspiration. Now, when you put all of those three together in good measure, it equals what I call zeal. And zeal means to have enthusiasm and energy for life, and it equates to the amount of happiness that you have. Now, in order for children to become the leaders of their own life, it's really important that they are happy. Happy children are children that make good choices. Good choices are made simply by having the toolkit to be able to strategize, to problem solve, to know the difference between what is right, what is wrong, underpinned by a good, healthy set of values. So our mission is really quite simply to get children leading healthy lifestyles where they look after their mental health as a priority so that they can grow and flourish into adults who are there to be of service to mankind. I believe that coaching children is a way, a sustainable way, a solution to facing many of the world problems that we are seeing. And it starts with educating, motivating, and inspiring children to take responsibility for their own lives. Yes, life is going to knock children down, and yes, sometimes life can be harsh. However, becoming a leader is about understanding that you have the inner resources and the capabilities and the support structure to be able to make good choices moving forward. And that is why kids life coaching is such a great solution, where we act as tour guides to children in their journey that can sometimes be rocky and have a couple of ups and downs and wobbles and falls. Our beliefs are really about enabling, empowering, educating, embracing, engaging, and eradicating. So that sounds like a real mouthful. But let's have a look. When you enable children, it means you separate any labels that they've been given, and you focus on mobilizing what they are good at and what their talents are. And that way they start to believe in themselves. Sometimes negative labels cause self-fulfilling prophecies. Coaching, kids life coaching, done properly, enables children to step out of the box of preconceived notions that other people have placed on them, and gives children hope that they can achieve within their own skill set. Empowering children. Leadership is something that we are all born with inherently. We all lead in our own way, whether it is in our own home, whether it is leading people in our workplace, we lead. Children can be empowered to be leaders that take responsibility. We live in a world full of leaders who unfortunately don't always come at their leadership role from a heart-based space. So empowering children to harness their mindset, their skill set, and their heart to be able to be productive, effective leaders, however that looks, means that ultimately one day, if one of those children are in power, let's say they become a president, we know that they will have the foundation for making good choices where they're not only bothered about themselves, but where they also have empathy, respect, and acknowledgement for those around them. Educating is all about giving children a practical toolkit. Let's face it, life is going to bring ups and downs, and with the way to know how to deal with those ups and downs, it gives children a sense of security, a sense of stability, and it builds their confidence, which means that they can embrace themselves, their own unique talents and strengths with unconditional love and acceptance. And as a kid's life coach, we use the 4 U's: unconditional, unconventional, upbeat, upliftment. And this really supports children in embracing their own uniqueness and learning to love themselves and being their own best friend. Engaging children in their own self-development process is one of the most important things that any parent can do. You see, personal development is a lifelong journey, and we're always learning and always growing. Anybody who stops learning and stops growing forgets that they are human and that humans make mistakes. And it is about engaging children in harnessing the mistakes they may make, the obstacles they may face, and the challenges that they need to overcome, and engaging them in taking responsibility for finding solutions and leaning on other people, such as a kid's life coach, to figure out a way forward. Finally, our belief is to eradicate any system-based structures that do not suit the needs of children. There is a lot of work that needs to be done, and there are a lot of things happening in the education system, in our government systems, which are just not serving the children. So what we have to do is be spokespeople for children, be the voice of children, and also give children the ability to be their own voice and to ensure that the right people listen in the right measures. So this is all based fundamentally on having a good set of values. So as a global network of Kids Life Studio coaches, world-class Kids Life coaches, we have 5 fundamental values. And when I interview every single member of our team to come on board and join us, I handpick them based on the fact that I look for these 5 fundamental values, and I look to see if we share these, because I believe that these are our motivation and the reason behind why we do what we do. So our first value number 1, we value relationships over impersonal. Now you've probably figured it out already because I interview everybody to join our team. I am all about relationships. My organization, the Kids Life Studio, grows ethically and sustainably, and some would consider quite slowly. Now, I see this very responsibly because I could grow the Kids Life Studio very fast and have masses of coaches that join my team. However, doing that, how would I be able to control quality? How would I be able to support and mentor those coaches who are part of my team? Relationships are so incredibly important, and it all starts within our Kids Life Studio network. I support my global network of Kids Life coaches, and in turn, the coaches support the children that they work with and the parents that they work with. And this becomes contagious. There are so many organizations out there who are very impersonal in their approach. They don't tailor-make their approach to the individual needs of every family and every client. We do. We value every client, and every client's needs are important to us, which is why we keep our groups small and sustainable. So our coaching group will never be more than 10 in a group, because we want to get to know each and every child that we work with. Our second value is we value comprehensive over vague. So every single child that joins our coaching program is assessed through our lifestyle assessment. And what this assessment does is it enables us to tailor make a program that suits the needs of that child. And it looks at their sleeping, eating, physical activity, their school environment, family dynamics, and a whole lot of other areas that impact on their behavior. Now, how can anybody coach a child without knowing who it is they're coaching? How often have these wonderful speakers gone into schools and worked with 100 kids at a time, 1,000 kids at a time, and they're very vague in their approach? It's a hit and miss method. What they do is they stand up, share the most wonderful wisdom, but there's no follow up and follow through. We value being really comprehensive. So our programs are what I would consider lifelong. We don't look at wishy-washy quick fixes. We really want to get stuck in and get the best out of every single child that we coach. Our third value is quality over quantity. I want you to consider every single child as a unique parcel wrapped up in beautiful ribbon for us to open and discover alongside with them. Now, quality is all about acknowledging each individual child's personality and traits, which means we offer individual coaching to children if we feel that they need that, or we offer group coaching. Now, quality is all about ensuring that every single child is acknowledged. Every single child knows that they have a program in place that is measurable in terms of our assessment, which statistically reviews their results and their improvements, but also, unlike traditional therapy where there is time and place for that, we don't look at working with children for years on end with no outcome and no end goal. We have very clear outcomes. And because of this, because they are time orientated, we get the quality that every single child deserves, because we use a recipe that is proven and it's based on scientific principles that have worked with children around the world, no matter their religion, their culture, their demographic. No matter their circumstances, we know that this recipe works because we have tapped into the developmental needs of children. Our fourth value is strategy over guesswork. So this means that we have a triangle of support, and we involve parents, we involve caregivers, teachers, and any other professionals such as sports coaches, psychologists, occupational therapists, social workers in our journey of coaching with the child. Having a clear strategy and having a support team to execute that strategy alongside you as a coach is so incredibly important. Guessing our way through coaching a child can be fundamentally dangerous. You see, there are so many people who have good hearts and they think they know what they're doing, and they start guessing their way through things, practicing by trial and error, using children as a guinea pig. Now, I myself was guilty of that initially when I started coaching. And initially, I didn't get the results that I knew I needed to get that were deserving of every child that I worked with. And I really don't want people to guess their way through supporting and equipping a child. So strategy is all about our global network of coaches leaning on each other for support. We do debriefing sessions, we look at individual case studies, and we learn and we grow and we create strategies together. And we have a wonderful platform where we have different levels of experience where we can support each other rather than doing it alone as an island and trying to guess our way through figuring things out. So finally, our fifth value is our coaching model. Our coaching model is something that is highly respected and highly regarded because, first of all, it was developed out of functional, productive coaching that I did myself coming out of the classroom as a teacher and being a counselor, a school counselor, and also being a specialist in behavioral consulting. I was also a university lecturer. So our coaching model is really all about the 4 U's, the 5 tools that we give children, 6 fundamental theories, and 7 key ingredients. With those, we're able to lay the foundation for leading a healthy, well-balanced life. And then we can add all the little building blocks in between. So often, we have reactive solutions. Now, our solution is not reactive, it's proactive. So we want to get stuck in before things go wrong in children's lives. So where are we headed? Zeal means to have energy and enthusiasm for life. And every single kids' life coach that certifies with me has undergone a rigorous training. They've undergone lots of reading, lots of work, and lots of figuring things out for themselves. And I'm not talking figuring out the recipe like I used to, but looking at their personal development, tapping into their own zeal, their own energy, understanding their own blueprint for living a wonderful life full of opportunity. Our Kids Life Studio coaches walk the walk and talk the talk. And so it's really important to know that we know where we are headed and where we are going. And it's because we have a collective team and a collective mission and our values, and because they are so intact and so solid, and because our hearts are in the right place, we know we're going to get there. Kids Life Coaching deserves to be mainstream. And Kids Life Studio is the global leader in paving the way for other coaches to follow us in the work that we're doing. We've been doing it for the longest, since 2003. We have a global network of dedicated world-class Kids Life coaches who really strive to be the best for every child that they work with, because mediocrity for us is just not an option. So make a choice to be a world-class Kids Life coach. It starts with you. It starts in your mind first, and it ends in your mind. So do your mindset work. Make sure you upskill yourself. Make sure that you work on your heart, that you process any unprocessed grief, trauma, childhood issues that may be impacting on you. Because only when you choose to live a world-class life will you be able to get the best out of every single child that you coach. Every child deserves a Kids Life coach who's doing it for themselves. A Kids Life coach who understands what it means to be resilient, what it means to be positive, inspirational, motivational. You've got what it takes. So walk the walk and talk the talk, and know that you're supported every step of the way.